This is Prince Harrison, owner of Optimum Fitness Supplements, and IPB and NBC promoter. We're here at Optimum Fitness headquarters in Dallas, Texas, and we're interviewing NPC athlete Philip Bordelon. How are you doing, Philip?
I'm doing good, and you?
I'm doing fine. Did I pronounce your name correctly?
That is correct, Philip Bordelon. That's it.
Okay,
Most
great.
people murder it, misspell it, but yeah, you did it correct. But
Well, great.
I feel good. Just got a big fat meal in me, so I'm happy, feeling good.
So you arrived here yesterday, and we've really have gotten a lot accomplished. We did a video this morning, a workout video, and you really trained hard and showed off your great physique. And what are some of the principles in that workout video that you did? You were explaining to me earlier this morning some of the things that you do. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, a lot of people ask me about my traps, my shoulders, my arms. I've never really had big arms until about the last 2 or 3 years. They really started to grow. I always trained heavy, balls to the wall. And then once I hit about 27, I started getting injuries here and there. I started having shoulder problems, knee problems. So I was kind of forced to train lighter. Nobody wants to train lighter because as bodybuilders, we all have egos. We want to be the macho man, the strong man. We don't want to just look the part. We really want to be strong, and we try to push as much weight as we can in the gym. And I had the same ego. I didn't want to be in the gym, you know, weighing 250 pounds, lifting 100 pounds. So I had an ego issue. Well, I always lifted heavy, balls to the wall. And then, like I said, when I turned 27, I started having injuries. So I was forced to have to train lighter because I actually had some minor tears in my rotator cuff, and they wanted to do surgery. And I said, I'm not doing surgery, because a lot of people that have shoulder surgery, they either come back sometimes better or 100%, or they don't come back at all. They're worse. I said, you're not cutting on me. I said, is there any way I can change the way I train and maybe hopefully it'll heal on its own? And the doctor said, yeah. So I started doing volume training, started pre-exhausting. So my whole method is what I tried to show today. It was kind of hard because the gym where I work out, Reds, is 195,000 square feet. It's got everything in the world you could possibly imagine. It's one of the top gyms in the world. I try to do as many exercises as I can. I do 3 to 4 sets, and I go to failure every set. So I'm basically trying to hit every angle I possibly can to engage every muscle fiber. And I tried to incorporate that today and show everybody, because everybody's asked me what I do for my traps, my shoulders, my arms. Well, my traps, I was blessed. That's about the only thing my daddy blessed me with, was my traps. I don't really do much at all for my traps. I may do 3 or 4 sets at the end of my shoulder workouts, some shrugs with the straight bar, that's it. I was just genetically given those. I had to work for everything else. My shoulders grow easy, and like I said, my arms have always been kind of a weakness, but in the last 2 to 3 years, they've really grown since I started doing the volume training. I do a lot of sets, a lot of reps, a lot of different movements. Most people, for a small body part like arms, bis or tris, they say they do 10 or 12 sets. For a bigger body part like back or legs, they say they do 24, 30 sets. Me, for bis, tris, I'll do 30, 35 sets. For back, legs, I'll do 50, 60 sets. So I do a lot of volume and pre-exhaust. That way I don't have to lift heavy. I pre-exhaust. That way by the time I get to things like, I have knee problems, by the time I get to squat, my legs are so exhausted from extensions, hack squats, lunges, leg press, things like that. By the time I get to squat, I could put 225 on, 315 at the most, and it's gonna feel like 500. I don't need that heavy weight. So I employed that method, volume training, a lot of sets, a lot of reps, pre-exhaust. And what I was telling you about, what I took from Jason Huh, you can look it up on YouTube. They call it the Huh method. I do basically almost everything I do 3/4 reps or half reps, keeping constant tension on the muscle. I don't do full extension. Like for bis, I don't do full extension. People ask me, how do you get your arms to grow? I tell them 1/4 reps. Constant tension and pump it. The more blood you get in the muscle, the bigger the pump you get, the more it's going to grow. So I also find I get a lot more sore from doing the volume training. Where I'd go in on a heavy chest day, I'd work out, I'd leave, I feel like my shoulders got to work out, my arms, everything else would be burning but my chest. When you drop the weight, lose the ego, do the volume training, you can get a better mind muscle connection, feel the muscle, contract and squeeze with that muscle, and you're only working and focusing on that muscle. The more blood you get in there, the more fibers you're going to hit, the better it's going to grow. And I stay sore for 2 or 3 days, whereas lifting the heavy weight, I may not even get sore. So I just find that the volume training works better as far as growing for me. Everybody's different than heavy weight training. Now, of course, you got to train heavy in the beginning. Once you have a base, a foundation, you don't have to train like that anymore, because all that's going to do is get you injured.
Well, that is great. Well, that's one of the things that I know we talked about is this is a little safer way of training. It's you're not as prone to injuries. And I know I first started following you about a year ago, and I've really seen you make some great progress. You just did the USA.
Yes, sir.
And I know that next year you plan to return to the USA. Yes, is that correct?
Yes, sir. I plan on going back to the USA's. Hopefully we'll do as well as we hope to, we expect, and hopefully get my pro card. If not, we're going to head to the North Americans. That's what me and Dave Palumbo talked about, and that's what we're going to do. I started working with Dave about 2 years ago. Up until that point, when I started bodybuilding in 05, I did everything on my own, my diet, supplements, I mean the whole 9 yards. And then in the last 2 years, I said I need somebody to help me really just keep a second eye on me, and basically with the peak week. And since I joined Dave, I wish I would have joined him years ago, because I truly believe I'd have been pro years ago, just because in the last 2 years, I've made such great improvements. I mean, at the USA's not the USA's, Junior Nationals last year, I weighed in at 203. He told me to be a legitimate heavyweight, I need to gain 6 or 7 pounds. So I said, to hell with that, let's gain 10 or 12. Why not 15? We weighed in this year, probably in better conditioning, at 212. Now, the scale said 212. We all know at the shows, the scales are always about 5 pounds light, just to help make sure people make their weight. But this year, the scales were probably 8 to 10 pounds light. Everybody was saying the scales were really, really light. I think I weighed in about 220 that morning on my scale, which I've been weighing myself. Plus, I had about 6 or 7 meals in me, 300 carbs. So I was probably around 220. So you go from 203 to 220 in better conditioning. I probably put on about 15 pounds of muscle this past year with Dave. Well, I'm going to continue to stick with him, and hopefully be able to get that pro card next year, and that's the plan. We're gonna start bulking up after all my video shoots and photo shoots. Probably next week I got a body painting, and after that it's gonna be time to grow. So
that is great. Well, be sure to check Philip out on his Facebook page, as well as we will out the video, which you probably are seeing it either on Facebook. We also have it on Vimeo. The full video is on muscleflexclips.com. We're just doing a major facelift on that site right now, so it'll be available on there. We also want to thank Bob and Laura Johnson, who own the Shrugs Gym out in Flower Mound, Texas. They have a show coming up, the Central Texas Showdown, an NBC show that will be August the 30th in Waco, Texas at the Convention Center. Check out their site as well. Is there anything you'd like to tell our audience before we wrap this up, Philip?
Yes, I would like to thank you for having me, feeding me for the video. It was my first video. I enjoyed it. I had fun. Hopefully we can do many more. And I'd also just like to give a shout out of thanks to my sponsors, Ray Wright with Rapid Construction. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be able to pursue this dream. This guy has been my financial backbone the last 2 years, and has truly helped me with, we all know how expensive it is to bodybuild. He's helped me with my traveling cost. Also like to thank Benny Nelly with Sport Shack. He owns our local supplement shop back home. He really helps me out with my supplements. Richard Kennedy has helped me out the last 2 or 3 years sponsoring me. And also I want to give a shout out to, I know I'm forgetting somebody, Carl with Rim Pros. Carl also helped me out big time this year with financial, travel costs, just food, gym fees, tanning. I mean, it just adds up. It's non-stop with bodybuilding. If it wasn't for these guys, I wouldn't have been able to compete this year. It costs an arm and a leg to do it, and they've really helped me. I want to thank them, because without them, I wouldn't be able to pursue this dream of mine. I also like to thank my fiance Miranda for putting up with me. We all know how hard it is, mentally, physically exhausting on bodybuilding, and it's hard to live with a bodybuilder, especially when you got kids running around the house. For her to be able to put up with me and things like that, I like to give a thank for her for her support, and also all my supporters on Facebook. It surprised me how many people follow me and say I inspire them and things like that, and motivate them. And if it wasn't for them, I also wouldn't be able to do what I do, because there's days where I don't feel like going to the gym.
Right.
I wake up at 3 in the morning to do cardio, and I don't feel like going. I'm, just mentally, physically exhausted, beat up. And these guys are constantly texting me, calling me, messaging me, checking on me, making sure I'm doing what I'm doing, pushing me to keep going. And I'd like to give all my followers on Facebook a shout out and thank y'all.
Well, that is great. And y'all keep following Philip. We will as well. And you'll be seeing him again in the near future. Before the year is out, we'll be doing another video. This is Prince Harrison for the Optimum Fitness channel. Stay tuned.